There's something dangerous about a person who becomes addicted to growth. Not dangerous in the sense of harm, but dangerous in the sense of power. The kind of power that comes when you stop settling, stop making excuses, and start living with an unrelenting hunger for becoming better than you were yesterday. Because here's the truth. The moment you become addicted to growth, you become unstoppable. You start seeing obstacles as opportunities, failures as lessons, and challenges as fuel. You don't just survive life, you dominate it. But addiction to growth doesn't come naturally. It's not something you stumble into. It's a choice, a mindset, a decision to stop living on autopilot and start chasing your potential with everything you've got. And when you make that decision, when growth becomes your obsession, that's when you become dangerous. Being addicted to growth means that you're not satisfied with staying the same. It means you're willing to challenge yourself, to step out of your comfort zone. To push past your limits, because you know there's more out there for you. It's not about perfection. It's not about achieving some final ideal version of yourself. It's about the process, the grind, the journey, the relentless pursuit of progress. When you're addicted to growth, you stop waiting for life to hand you opportunities. You create them. You stop hoping things will get better. You make them better. You stop letting fear, doubt, and insecurity control you. You face them head on, knowing that the only way out is through.
Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you going. And discipline, when repeated long enough, turns into obsession. When you show up every day, when you work on your craft, when you invest in yourself, when you keep grinding even when no one's watching, you start to crave it. You start to need it. It becomes a part of who you are. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to grow. It's about creating a system that makes growth inevitable. Here's what makes someone addicted to growth dangerous. They don't see obstacles as setbacks. They see them as opportunities. When the rest of the world is complaining about how hard things are, the person who's obsessed with growth is asking, what can I learn from this? How can I turn this into fuel? That's why they're dangerous. Because no matter what life throws at them, they find a way to turn it into power. The moment you think you've made it, the moment you think you've grown enough, is the moment you stop growing. Being addicted to growth means staying hungry. It means never settling, never becoming complacent, never thinking, this is good enough. But it also means staying humble. It means recognizing that no matter how far you've come, there's always more to learn, more to do, more to become.
When you're addicted to growth, you become someone who can't be stopped. You can't be stopped by failure, because you know it's part of the process. You can't be stopped by fear, because you've learned to face it head on. You can't be stopped by setbacks, because you've turned resilience into a habit. You become someone who adapts, who overcomes, who thrives in any situation. And that's dangerous. Not in a destructive way, but in a powerful way. Because the world doesn't know what to do with someone who refuses to stop growing. Here's the beautiful thing about growth. It doesn't just make you stronger, it sets you free. When you're addicted to growth, you stop fearing failure because you know it's just a stepping stone. You stop fearing the unknown because you trust yourself to adapt. You stop fearing judgment because you're too busy becoming the person you're meant to be. Growth isn't just about success. It's about freedom. Freedom to live fully, to take risks, to create a life that's bigger than you ever imagined. If you want to become dangerous, unstoppable, unshakable, untouchable, make growth your obsession. Show up every day. Embrace the discomfort. Turn your setbacks into strength. And never, ever stop. Because the person who's addicted to growth isn't just chasing success. They're chasing their potential. They're chasing the best version of themselves. And that makes you someone the world can't ignore. Grow relentlessly, unapologetically, dangerously.
The journey is the reward, not the destination. The journey is the reward, not the destination. Focus every single day on being aligned and as intentional as you can with your actions, with your perspective, with your attitude, with what you say, with what you put in your body, with how you move, all that stuff. And if you really, really just focus one day at a time at doing that to the best of your ability, right? Not trying to get everything perfect, but really doing that to the best of your ability for that day, all the outcomes and results you want to see in your life will take care of themselves. I guarantee it. And there's going to come a point in time later in your journey where you look back and it's not going to be the results or the outcomes that really was the prize. It's going to be the journey. It's going to be the journey and the experiences and the different seasons you had to navigate, right? The journey is the reward, not the destination. Focus on the day-to-day intentional, aligned habits, values, perspectives, mindsets, and let go of your emotional attachment to the outcomes. Trust.
If you don't know what to pursue in life right now, pursue yourself. It's so easy to get lost and to lose yourself into obsessing over what you want to do because there is no perfect choice and there never will be. So first, just think about who you want to be, because when you work on building your personal happiness first, every other goal in your life will change and fall in tandem with that personal happiness and fulfillment. I say things like building your happiness, building who you want, and not finding, because it's a state of creation from scratch and it's going to take a ridiculous amount of work. It's not something that's just lost and found because you manifested it by staying positive. It's endless hours of growing your self-respect, self-trust in yourself through what you do each day and not just what you tell yourself you will. Self-reflection isn't going to change your life on its own. Productivity strategies aren't going to change your life on their own. Working out isn't going to change your life on its own. But when you're in constant motion of creating yourself, you're laying the bricks for a foundation of an individual who's going to be ready for any opportunity that they're waiting for, even if you don't even know what that is yet. Because the truth is, you're never going to have your life figured out to the T. But it's also not a call to be lazy just because there are no guarantees. It's a call to grow your responsibility as a one-in-one individual, to control as much as you can by ruling yourself first before all else. That you can do. That you can absolutely guarantee. And that's what's going to dictate all of the other accessories in your life to come.
No, you don't need to dream bigger. You don't need a vision board. And you don't need to meditate about your goals every morning. What you need is to master the anti. Understand that everybody receives the same advice. Oh, just dream big, bro. Shoot for the stars, man. But if that stuff works, you would see successful people everywhere you looked. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is that the winners understand where they don't want to be. That's why you need an anti-vision. Ask yourself questions such as these. Who don't I want to be? What life would I hate to live? What work would I not want to do? And once you have these answers, you're going to have the motivation needed in order to actually make progress towards your goals. When you combine the vision with its opposite, you become a force so unstoppable that success has no choice but to find you.
The moment you believe you've arrived is the moment your journey ends. Every success you achieve is not the finish line, it's a stepping stone. Every lesson you learn is the foundation for what's next. The greatest achievers aren't those who know it all, but those who stay curious, stay humble, and keep asking, what more can I do? Because the real flex is showing up again and again, ready to learn, adapt, and push beyond what you thought was possible. There is no secret. Stay hungry and just keep building.
I heard you say there's only one thing I dread, not to be worthy of my sufferings. What's that?
It's how you handle your sufferings. You know, when you're going through something really challenging, how do you show up within it? Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery and shitty, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering?
So I know why you go on Instagram. I know why because you just have the time. You have the time because you don't want to put that time into bettering oneself. So I know why I'm misunderstood. I'm misunderstood by people who have plenty of time on their hands to misunderstand me because they are exactly where I once was. And it's the harsh reality of people who troll you, who go after you. They have nothing better to do with their life. It's the truth, but I once was that way. I know where it all comes from. I'm frustrated by the fact that you don't have the courage to try to be somebody better than what you're not. And that's the frustrating part.
It just comes down to recognizing opportunities that come with sacrificing just a little bit of the short run for the longer term investment. And honestly, I don't even see it as sacrifice because it's exciting to recognize your capability when you really commit to something. It feels good to have newfound responsibility, to be on a path towards something that you might not be able to conceptualize right now, but you know will be life-changing. It's beautiful to find and realize you have that much faith in yourself. And as corny as it sounds, believe in yourself to do the hard things today, and then you'll have the rest of your life to live a new one.
Our brain cannot process failure. It will not process failure. Because if I sit there and have to face myself and tell myself, you're a failure, I think that's almost worse than death.
It's important to remember that you have a perfect track record for making it through your toughest days. If you are incapable of dealing with life's challenges, you wouldn't be here right now. Now, that doesn't mean that tougher challenges aren't going to present themselves again in the future, but you can't control what will happen then. You can only trust your ability to deal with whatever life throws at you.